Hey, what's up, guys? Man, I am stoked about this week's teaching. This is one we all have to face. And if you're not facing this, you are deceiving yourself. So do me a favor, grab yourself a cup of coffee, new Soulcon mug. Man, if you don't have the Soulcon campfire mug, sitting around the campfire like warriors, using your mind's eye to see each other, having coffee globally around the world, you need to grab yourself one of these in the Soulcon store. Man, check it out. But grab your coffee and let's sit, have a cup of coffee together and discuss something that I really believe if we're not confronting, we are being deceived. So grab your coffee. To everybody that has it, cheers. Man, first, praise God for coffee. I want to tell you guys, everybody that watched the teaching last week on crippling anxiety, George Schaefer is on vacation with his family this week, and next week we're going to do that weekly teaching together on how do you strategically combat crippling anxiety. If you haven't watched my teaching from last week, go back and watch it. Just, man, do it today. Make an excuse. And if you know anybody struggling with anxiety, what I talk about is the spiritual attack of anxiety that literally can make you feel like you're going to lay down and just stay under the sheets and metaphorically just suck your thumb and hide from life. We have to be able to identify that, understand that that's a common attack from the enemy, but it can make men feel isolated, embarrassed, and eventually causing us to be ineffective and self-destruct. So we've got to be able to face that. Go back and watch that. Next week, George is going to be with me on a weekly teaching on how do you go against that? How do you have a battle plan when that attack happens? It will happen. We have to have a plan. It's going to be awesome. I want to catch you guys up a little bit. Today, March 22nd through May 12th, we're starting a campaign that I want to give you a picture on why we're starting this campaign. We're starting this campaign for 52 days to build a wall, just like Nehemiah did. Nehemiah built the wall in 52 days. So what I'm going to challenge the Soulcon community, every one of you, I'm going to go on a fundraising effort all across the world to see the Lord. And I'm not putting a number on how many donors we're looking for, but I'm looking for new monthly supporters in 52 days. And I want you to pray with me that God builds a wall in 52 days, faster, bigger. Pray Ephesians 3:20 with me over this, because what we're starting to see, guys, is men's ministry, according to statistics, is dead. We know it is alive and thriving. And what does a ministry need to be in the highest level operation? It needs prayer, God's blessing, and financial support. We live in a world where our biggest competitor right now is the pornography industry. They're a $57 billion a year industry. We need to strategically and combatively go against this industry and be established as what Soulcon is, a military style operation in ministry to go wage war for souls around the world. And waging war costs money. And here's the thing, here's what we have to know. When you, and I'm going to ask that you do, you can text the number 405-655-5411. You can text GIVE to that number, 405-655-5411. You can set up your monthly giving to this organization where you know literally we are just stomping into Satan's playground and taking captives out. We are storming the gates of hell every single day globally, reaching men. This last week, our Facebook page reached over 700 new men. Guys, we every week are growing faster and stronger, and we need your help in prayer, encouragement, and financial support to do that. So 52 days, we're doing a fundraising campaign where I believe God's going to do a couple things that this ministry needs. Guys, we need some more full-time staff with this ministry. Right now, I'm the only full-time employee, and we need your backing. Here's why. So pray about it. You're going to hear a lot from me on that. It is, the harvest is plentiful, the workers are few. Guys, we need Soulcon to be the unstoppable force. And I believe it's the greatest men's movement we're going to see, the strongest, most strategic that we will see before Jesus comes back. So be a part of that, man. I'm going to teach soon on the generosity of a believer's heart. We should be chomping at the bit to support financially organizations on a monthly level. We should be excited to give because we know when we give, we are a part. We come into a covenantal partnership with those organizations. So, and to everybody that gives already, thank you. Pray with me, guys. You are such a solid rock in this organization. Pray with me for everybody that commits to give. If you're international and you want to give, just go to soulcon.com/donate. We have PayPal set up. You can do that. Guys, thank you for all of that. Let's see what God can do in 52 days and what he can establish across Soulcon. So pray with me for that. Commit for that. I want to tell you why. This last weekend, George Schaefer, Mickey Fuller, and we leave from Oklahoma City to drive down to Louisiana, Leesville, Louisiana, with Michael Bodine. And let me tell you what, Michael Bodine, we call him Iron Man as his call sign. He literally is Iron Man. He is an unstoppable force for the kingdom, unstoppable force, man. He set up and coordinated all of our speaking events, a Soulcon men's conference at his church. And guys, we saw at least 3 men give their lives to Christ. George Schaefer spoke, rattled the gates of hell, just shook them down. I was able to speak, and I was able to speak at the men's conference 2 times on a Sunday morning. And George was able to speak at Fort Polk, the base that he left, where post-traumatic stress syndrome was really birthed, and that fear from the enemy was birthed inside of him. So this is his last duty station. Guys, it was powerful. It was powerful. Well, this is what I want to tell you on that. Every life change that Soulcon has, every salvation that we see, every family transformed, all of our financial partners are a part of that. And this is something that we have to do on a global basis every single day. So know that when you give to Soulcon, you're giving to see families change. You're giving to see, salvations happen, right? Like, how beautiful are those who bring the gospel. You're literally funding me full-time to do men's ministry, which is the most under-budgeted, underfunded ministry in the local churches. What we do on a monthly basis is crazy, and you guys, crazy awesome. You guys are a part of that, so thank you. What I want to talk with you about today, it really goes along with that. So understanding for 52 days, we are building a wall. I don't know how big that wall is. I know we are getting combative towards the work of the enemy, and we're starting to structure and establish, but I know who our opponent is, and it's Satan and the armies of hell. Let me tell you, the worst thing that we've seen to marriages in our modern day society today is the pornography industry. And we have to go toe-to-toe with them and win. And we can't do that if we're a financial weak organization. We have to continue to grow. And guys, praise God, we're growing, but it has to be more strategic. As we grow, that is our enemy. And that's what I'm going to talk with you about today. The question that I think is rolling through so many men's minds that a lot of you guys are ignoring, and we cannot ignore this. We have to confront this. If we're not confronting it, I promise we're being deceived. And if you're being deceived, you're getting isolated. And I promise you're getting destroyed. There's self-destruction in that path. What I want to talk to you guys about today is there's so many guys that say, do I need to have a porn blocker on my phone? The answer for every man that has every man that every man, I gotta be careful. Every man out there, unless you're over the age of like 95 and you have erectile dysfunction. But man, that's my prayer. As soon as I lose sexual function, that God takes me. So my understanding is that my testosterone, your testosterone, is not weakness. Like the fact that I love women or that I'm triggered by my sexual arousal doesn't mean that I'm broken, right? Like it means that's God created me to be to enjoy sex, but we have an enemy that wants to destroy sex and created to enjoy it. Satan's trying to destroy it through pornography. And guys, it happens as young as 6-year-olds. I read an article this morning that 1 out of every 3 of the students right now that are exposed to pornography in 8th grade are girls. Guys, there's a war happening, and we're aware of this. We talk about this a ton. But if you're a man that thinks you can have access on your phone to anything that you want, on your computer to anything that you want, and you don't have to be accountable to another man, you're deceived. We have to, today. My challenge to you today, share in the Soulcon community. We're almost to 6,000 guys in the Soulcon community. Praise God, that is amazing. Text one of your accountability partners and say, hey, I need porn blockers, porn software on my phone to build a strategy, to build a wall to keep pornography out of my life. Man, if you're not struggling with it right now, build a wall. They have the most strategic marketers on the planet to find you at your weakest moment. Don't be deceived. So if you have an iPhone, this is what I do. It's the most effective way. Steve Jobs actually made the iPhone do this so his kids wouldn't get attacked by pornography. You can brick out a phone. So what I do, and this is, my wife has the passcode and my best friend has the passcode, Abraham Wright. You can go into settings and then go to restrictions. Your accountability partner can have that password, and I have this for other guys. You can create a password. It's not the lock screen password. It's totally different. You can create that password, and that the accountability partner will have it, and you can't break into it. So what you can do then is you can go in, and what I do is I take off installing apps. There's apps like Twitter that you can access pornography like that. Nobody will know about it. You can break certain pornography blockers by going through apps. You've got to be aware of that. If you have an iPhone, this is the best way to do this. You shut off installing apps. Yes, that means you can't update your apps by yourself. Yeah, you have to, it's practicing humility, right? Ephesians 4:2, you should spend time with that. Meditate on that. I have it right over here. It says, always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowance for each other's faults because of your love, right? We have to practice humility. So that's good. It's a good practice to say you got to have your accountability partner there while you're updating your apps. Good. There's some things that, man, like Instagram can overtake guys. All these pictures of swimsuit models and all these things. I remember when I was a kid and I'd see Sports Illustrated, I'd think wow, that's the best. Well, now it's everywhere that you look. So it's understanding that you have to turn off what could be very dangerous. You can set all of your settings to a 13-year-old settings on PG-13. And then what you can do that's great is take all the websites that you access for work, for pleasure that's really safe, like Soulcon.com, and you can add those websites in, and you can restrict all the other websites except for those ones that you allow. Literally, it will block your phone out, and you cut the head of the snake off on the attack on your life. And guys, it's that simple. It's getting accountability. Now, if you have Android, just switch over to iPhone. Just kidding. If you have Android, Covenant Eyes, top one out there. MobiSip. I love MobiSip or MobiKip, however you pronounce it. Great apps. This is what you have to do, though. You cannot just have porn software without porn accountability. You have to talk with guys. If you find a way to break it, you have to have that conversation. Because, guys, we literally have to build walls inside of our lives to protect when we're weak. And if you don't have porn blocking software on your phone, you are being deceived. That has to happen today. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with seeing guys get completely destroyed by the attack of pornography. And man, I'm tired of being in conversations with a man and his wife, and I'm looking at them, and the wife says, I had no idea. And the man said, I had no idea that I was that weak. And it just started a couple times, and then I started to become an addict. Well, most men that I talk to in that situation have been addicts for years and have told nobody. Guys, it's a healthy conversation to say, hey, to your wife, hey, Soulcon just implemented this weekly teaching. It's awesome. It's finding this strength in accountability. Will you be to your wife? Will you have the passcode on my restrictions and hold me accountable. I promise that'll increase the intimacy in your marriage to say, and she says, hey, are you struggling? And say, hey, Cody says every man is tempted, but I want to put boundaries on my life when I'm strong so sin doesn't become a master over my soul when I'm weak. And that's the basis of what this is. So do me a favor today, make sure that you protect yourself from the most strategic business trying to make you an addict and destroy your life. Well, Soulcon is going toe-to-toe with that industry, and I want to win. When I wake up in the morning, I don't compete against any person in the kingdom of God. I don't compete against any men's ministry. Statistically right now, the fastest growing men's ministry in the world, praise God. I look at the work of the enemy, and our goal is to destroy it. Right now, the porn industry is destroying us, and it's time to make a comeback. How do we do that? We first do it by protecting ourselves, right? You're on a plane, you lose cabin pressure. What do you have to do first? You have to put the mask on. I was in naval aviation. I was an air crewman for 6 years on active duty. I know the most dangerous thing in the world is if I lose cabin pressure in an airplane, if I don't take care of myself. I have to put the oxygen on, then I can take care and serve everybody else. But if I'm just stupid and I don't, because I think that I'm a hero and I'm tough and I can do it myself, you're gonna pass out and you lose function and you will die. And this is what we have to understand, guys. You have to guard, take care of yourself. Jesus said in Mark 12:30-31, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Guys, it's your top priority to make sure you are loving God with everything that you have. And then the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. So you've got to guard and protect yourself. So guys, I love you. I hope you take this challenge. I hope you pray. Commit with me to pray. If you're not a financial supporter for Soulcon for these 52 days, March 22nd through May 12th, I want you to commit to join the monthly support team. 405-655-5411. You can text GIVE and set up your monthly support to an organization that is combatively going against the most strategic work of the enemy, and we're growing by force. I want Soulcon to be in every country with Wi-Fi. That's my goal. Every country with Wi-Fi, reaching men right where they're at, just like the porn industry does. We grab them for the kingdom, then we connect them into local community in their church, and then we send them out on mission in their local area. Guys, I love you. I can't wait for next week when we talk about anxiety with George Schaefer, who we call the Green Hulk in Soulcon. That is his call sign, the Hulk. So guys, I love you. We'll talk to you soon. Share this with somebody that needs to hear it. Love you guys.